Hey
Hello,
guys,
everyone.
welcome in
How's
for
everybody
what?
doing this week?
Bright suns, travelers.
Yeah, welcome in, Aunt Joy. Welcome in to Little Britches, aka Dean the Turkey Legster.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you for being here, Dean.
Nice to see you. I know you've got to run errands, but
Bright suns and bare necessities. I wondered if that was the I see you've got Mowgli there as your
yeah,
icon on this account. I
cool.
figured that's where that came from. That's fun. I
That's
like it.
cool. Be nice to have you. And Dean, until you have to go run errands. Bright suns, travelers. Golly, what a busy week we have. We've got
Yeah.
The Mandalorian dropping tomorrow. Season 2 drops tomorrow, guys.
Yeah. So
I am
excited.
so ridiculously excited about this. I think it's going to be amazing, just like season 1. And we're going to talk about the last chapter of season 1, chapter 8. And then we're going to talk a little bit about what we'd like to see in season 2 and the trailers. They dropped a second trailer. What was it, last week, I guess, on it? And
Yeah, I think so.
mhm. So we're going to talk about that a little bit, and then we'll see what happens tomorrow. Do we know a time? We were talking about on Hitchhiker Chat Tuesday night. Is it midnight?
I thought somebody said, I can't remember what
Because that would
time.
be midnight tonight
Yeah.
if they do that.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Somebody had mentioned it in the chat. I don't know if it was Russ or Danny from
Yeah.
Griswold Family Vacay or who it was, but
Maybe we can. Hey, Pam's face.
hey,
Pam.
welcome in, Lynn.
Oh, hey, Lynn.
Thanks for being here.
Season 1. We'll finish season 1.
You have time. Knock it out today.
It's great to see you, by the way. I finished season 1, and then golly, it's whatever chapter you're on. It's fantastic, isn't it? It's
Oh, yeah.
great. Hey, Mike. And Pam has a birthday coming up. Like,
Yeah.
is it Pam? Happy early birthday, Pam.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's
Mike's
exciting. Yeah, happy early birthday, Pam.
Yeah. Yeah, Mike, have you checked that? Can you look that up for us, or we can look it up while we're on the stream here and see when it actually.
Yeah, Mike says, but normally are released around 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning. Okay,
Mhm.
is that Eastern or is that Pacific, Mike?
Yeah, we need to. That's information we need to know, because
Yeah.
I will set my alarm and get up.
Oh yeah.
I will set my alarm and get up.
Yeah, needless to say, we are more than a little bit excited about season 2 of The Mandalorian.
Welcome in, Desert Dream.
Yeah, welcome in.
Thanks
for being here, Jeff.
A little bit excited. Talking, excuse me, talking about the very last episode, which was Pam's Famous. It's Eastern usually, which is true.
Okay. Okay, cool.
So we will definitely look that up and find out.
Oh yeah.
And I will get up just like we did with season 1. I'll get up and
absolutely.
Oh, I hope they don't have the glitches. Remember the glitches they had last year?
Yeah. Hopefully not. I mean, there's going to be a ton of people trying to watch it just like the first time around. Oh, hold on a second. I got to mute our other audio here.
And
just a second. Got it. Okay, cool.
And they may.
He says 12 o'clock a.m. Pacific, so 3 o'clock a.m. Eastern. Okay.
Okay, so that's 1 o'clock our time.
1 o'clock our time.
1 o'clock. Okay.
Wow.
Oh, yes. Okay. Last time, and I would expect it, guys, and there may be some more people like us who are going to jump on and want to watch that exactly when it releases, instead of waiting until a more, crazy people like us will be on. And the normal people will try to get on later to watch it. So, there could be, expect some glitches with Disney Plus, because, I realized the service was new last year. The streaming service was fairly new last year, and they had some glitches with people who couldn't bring it up because the server was absolutely overwhelmed.
Yeah.
But with this many people, trying to get on, they may experience it again. So
yeah, we'll see. I mean, it could very well be pretty busy all day tomorrow with so many people tuning in to watch.
Yeah. I think that's just really good timing to release it, the day before Halloween, and it's a fun time to release it. I'm still drinking coffee, guys. It's cold here.
It is really, I mean, it's very uncharacteristically chilly out here.
Pam, we're crazy. We're crazy Disney people.
Yep, we're right there with you, Pam.
We do things like that. I was just thinking, we're going out for lunch a little bit later on. And I was trying to decide, okay, do I wear my Haunted Mansion spirit jersey? Do I wear the child spirit jersey? Do I wear my, my Halloween party spirit jersey, the Sanderson sisters from last year? And it was so funny because I thought, what ears can I? And I thought, I don't need to wear ears. I don't wear ears.
That's funny. That is funny.
Mike says, I thought you guys were Central Time. Yeah, we are. Would make it 2. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Sounds good.
Do we want to get into it, or is there anything else you wanted to talk about before?
Not that I know of. We'll kind of make some channel announcements a little bit later. Just to give what were you saying, William?
Yeah.
It's
Lynn says she has the Sanderson sister spirit jersey too.
Yeah, I love that. That was I went to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party for the first time last year, Lynn, and absolutely enjoyed it to pieces. That spirit jersey was one that was kind of a little splurge for myself. I went into the Emporium and bought that, and I love that spirit jersey. It is a really cool one. So I've been wearing it as much as possible this season. I wear it, because I have worn it, just not even around Halloween time, but I do love it. And then I've got my Haunted Mansion spirit jersey, which I also love. So a gift from William. So yeah, good stuff. Okay.
You're wearing your Star Wars shirt today, aren't you? The long sleeve.
I am. Yeah. I'm wearing my long sleeve Star Wars shirt. And
I got that one for really cheap at the Disney store.
Yeah, look at the arm of this, guys. How cool. Yeah. We got this for really cheap. It's got all the characters down the sleeve, and then it says just the Star Wars.
Yeah.
But it's long sleeve. I love long sleeve, especially this time of year. And Lynn, I would be hard pressed to pick between the Halloween and the Christmas party. Actually, now granted, I have not actually physically been to the Christmas party yet, and I know it's wonderful. But that Boo to You parade and all of the things all of the pieces to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party are phenomenal, and people in costumes is one of the things that I love so much.
It's so much fun.
Yeah, it is. It's a ton of fun. Okay, now to the Mandalorian.
All right. Sorry. Pam says it's a cute shirt. Lynn says that she wears her spirit jerseys usually only in January. Yeah.
I'm sure that's probably in Florida. That's probably the coolest time to wear it. We are going, of course, we're a little over 2 weeks out from.
Welcome in, Danny.
From departing. Hey, Danny.
Yeah.
Good to see you. From our Disney World trip. And so I told William, if it's 100 in the shade, I'm still going to wear my spirit jersey.
I'm about to say, if it's anything, if the weather's anything like it is here right now, it should actually be pretty prime spirit jersey weather. I don't know. I haven't been keeping tabs on the weather out in Orlando these days, but I
think it might. Yeah, I think it might. Okay, Mike says when you go to Hollywood Studios, keep an eye out for the new Galaxy's Edge spirit jersey. Ooh.
Oh, it is 88 degrees in Orlando. According to Google. Ooh, so not quite. So no, not spirit jersey there yet. Weather there yet.
But I have backups. I have backup options. So it's
yeah, Lynn says it's 90 degrees. It's so chilly out here in Texas right now. The weather's like in the 30s and 40s, so it's just super, super cold for this time of year for us.
it usually is. It is unseasonably chilly for us in Texas, Northeast Texas, and it is normally a little warmer still this time of year. But I'm loving the cooler weather actually. So 90 degrees, probably not Spirit Jersey weather.
Not quite.
So okay, the Mandalorian, Chapter 8. Okay, this episode was particularly good. I thought.
Yes.
I thought it had all the pieces to it. And Lynn, again, some spoilers ahead. If you finish watching season 1, I would hate for you to back out, but you do it. But there are a lot of pieces to this. We come back to, it's called Redemption. Chapter 8 is called Redemption. And of course, this whole season has come to a head here. And the scene is that Moff Gideon, not Moff. Okay, my brain just went on me. Grief Karga. Grief has contacted Mando and made him an offer and said, okay, come back. We're kind of in chaos here. Your dictator left us in a mess, and we need you to come back. It was an offer as a proposal. Bring the child. Yeah. We'll use him as bait in order to kill the client, in order to get rid of him, because he's just wreaking havoc and making life really bad for Grief and his band of merry bounty hunters.
There's a larger imperial presence on the on Navarro.
There is, and so
welcome into Russ and Blaine from Rayleigh Creative Travel.
Hey, Blaine.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Jeff says, just say Apollo Creed. We'll know what you mean.
Exactly. Man, do I love
it's so great that he's in this show.
Apollo Creed is it great that Apollo Creed is Grief Karga? It is so great. So anyway, Mando goes back to the planet, and what we see is they get pinned down, they go after the client, and Mando, if I'm not mistaken, it is Mando's shot that actually does take out the client. Is that right? I think I
know all that. I thought, well, unless I just didn't see it very closely, I thought all the blaster fire that came through the window from Moff Gideon's forces was what wiped out everybody except for our heroes in the room.
Well, I'll have to watch that again. That was kind of a sticking point, because I thought, okay, did Mando actually take him out like he was supposed? I think he did.
Yeah. Okay.
But don't hold me to
I'll have to watch it again.
I'll go back and watch it again. But I rewound it and looked again, and I
Interesting.
thought that Mando's blast actually took him out. So they're pinned down. All of the stormtroopers are including the red ones. Am I right?
Yeah. There's a flame trooper.
The flame troopers were. It was pretty formidable, pretty impressive. We did talk last week about the fact that I think it was this scene where Jon Favreau said, we need more stormtroopers. We don't have enough stormtroopers. It needs to be really overwhelming. And so they called in the 501st, which is an amazing, amazing group of stormtroopers that anybody
fans that have
fan group. Yeah. It's a fan group, and they're members.
They have stormtrooper outfits. They have imperial officer outfits. Pretty much all the pretty much every category of trooper or officer. Russ says Gideon shot first.
Well, yeah, of course.
That's funny.
Of course, yeah.
Welcome into Tina.
It's Tina. Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Did I see her?
Yeah, Tina McNeil is here.
Oh, hey. Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome in, guys. Welcome in. We appreciate you guys being here. Yeah. So, it's pretty formidable. Again, Jon Favreau called in the 501st. Check it out online, guys, if you're interested in that. I have a nephew who's actually a member of the 501st. Put in your application, your armor, your suit actually has to pass muster with them before you're confirmed as a member. There's a whole application process. It's fantastic. Jon Favreau called them in to be extras, which is just one of the coolest things. So
yeah, they said it took little to no coaching at all. Like they knew how to move and act like stormtroopers. So
yes, and they had their own weapons. They had the whole,
yeah,
costuming. How cool is that? I mean, I
yeah,
think that's just wonderful. Anyway, so they're surrounded basically. Our heroes. You've got Grief. You've got Mando and Cara Dune, who is one of my favorite characters in a long time that I've seen in any film or TV. And so they're pinned down, and it's looking pretty bad. Let's see now. At this point, I think Quill is still trying to make it back to the Razor Crest with the child. Am I right on that?
No. Let's see. Mando keeps reaching out to Quill. Mando tells Quill to get back to the ship and get out of here. Moff Gideon showed up in the TIE fighter, and I think it's the last scene of Chapter 7 where Quill, we see him dead in the scout troopers. The beginning of Chapter 8, the scout troopers on the speeder bikes pick up the child, kind of swoop him up.
Right. And they're headed back into town. With the child. Yeah. Yeah. And there's this. Go ahead.
No, you can go ahead.
Well, there's a scene there that is kind of uncharacteristic of the rest of the series, where they're sitting on their speeders. They stop outside of town, and I guess they're kind of trying to get clearance to come into town. Yeah,
pretty much just waiting on the green light to come into town. So they've got the child, which is why Moff Gideon's even there in the first place.
Exactly. But, so they radio in, and they're told, just wait where you are. He just shot one of his officers for interrupting him. And so it's really a comical scene. The two troopers are sitting there on these speeders, and one of them's got the child in the bag. And is, every now and then, the child makes a little noise or coos or whatever, and he hits him. And so
I was so angered by this. As soon as the child's making noises in the bag, and they keep hitting the child. And so the first one who has the child in the bag on him punches him, and then the other one wants to see the child. And he's like poking at him. He's like, "What's this?" He's like, "You got to look at it." So there's this ridiculous banter. Really? I really think
funny.
Diz Our Dream, What in the World with Russ, Kinsey Days, and Tracy Glenn, Kinsey Day's dad, do a show on Sundays called Nerd Talk. And somebody on their show said it almost seems like more of a Saturday Night Live skit. But between all the playful banter that you hear between these two scout troopers on the bikes, and then they go to try and shoot this can on the ground, like this little can looking thing on the ground with their blasters, and they can't hit it. And so it almost like it's very uncharacteristically funny. Most of the time stormtroopers have very little personality. Like you don't get much out of them other than them shooting and missing their target.
They don't have a whole lot of lines, but this was really I thought a funny exchange, although it just really raises your hackles when he continues to hit the child. And
the other one made me really angry whenever the child bites him. He puts a finger in his mouth. The child bites him, and he punches it. And I was so mad. But then, so we know Quill's out of the picture. We know Cara, Mando, and Grief Karga are all pinned down still. And so that leaves one other person to rescue the child from these troopers, and it is none other than IG-11.
Yeah, amazingly enough, IG-11 shows up, and basically he walks up on the scene and says, "I am this shot," which is just really funny to me when he refers to himself as the nurse droid. "I am this child's nurse droid. You will release him to me immediately." And of course, the troopers go, "Really? I don't think so." And essentially,
they're like, "Aren't IGs usually bounty hunter droids?" And so anyway, IG shows up to the party and just dispatches these two scout troopers in the most violent manner possible.
Yeah, he does.
He just, oh my goodness, he like picks one of them up. Yeah, they get shot. One of them gets picked up and slammed through the speeder. Yeah, it's oh, thanks for dropping in, Danny. I appreciate you joining the stream for a bit. I hope you have a good day. But yeah, and IG11 says that was unpleasant. I'm sorry you had to see that. After he finishes just destroying these two troopers.
Yeah, and the child kind of looks up at him and goes, "Oh."
Oh my
goodness, it was really funny. So it's looking pretty dire in they're pinned down. They're pinned down by all of these stormtroopers with Moff Gideon, is standing outside, with his whole, his threats, and he actually, let's see, what is the name of so an E-Web heavy repeating blaster is what he has. The stormtroopers are setting this up and aiming it in, and basically Moff Gideon thinks he has them. He thinks he's got them pinned down. There's no way out. And let's see, Mike Wheeler. I heard that somebody posted that what scene happened. Their friend actually threw something at the TV and broke the TV. Oh my gosh,
that's funny.
Yeah, we get pretty passionate, don't we, Mike?
Yeah.
But anyway, they set up this huge E-Web heavy.
Yeah, so they're already pinned down, and then Moff Gideon says he explains the whole thing, and it's kind of scary because Mando's like, okay, we got to figure out a way out of here. There's no way out, and they see the sewer vent, and Grief Karga's like, I'd heard a sewer, and so that just goes to show you even further how, like, before they came out of hiding, how the Mandalorian covert was well hidden. Where like Grief Karga didn't even know about the sewer system on Navarro.
Didn't know it, yeah. And so Moff Gideon, his he's monologuing essentially.
Yeah, he is.
In order to intimidate them further, he calls each of them by name, which is pretty. All of them are really unnerved by this. Cara Cynthia Dune of Alderaan.
It's a big, very big power move.
It is
to call all three of them by name.
He does, and he and Alderaan, of course, is Princess Leia's home planet, which was
destroyed
later
by the Death Star.
The first target of the Death Star. But he calls her Cara Cynthia Dune, so we find out, what her full name is. It's not just Cara, it's Cara Cynthia Dune of Alderaan, and he, basically says, "I know you've done, I know your past, blah blah blah." Mm-hmm. And then he of course, he says something to Grief as well. Calls him a disgraced magistrate. Grief Karga, and talks to Grief a little bit. He's basically trying to unnerve them. He's really trying to get in their heads with this. But the one that really hits home is when he calls the name Din Djarin.
Yep.
And really catches Mando's attention because he has not been called that since he was a child.
Yep.
That is actually Mando's name, Din Djarin. And he talks to Mando about when the Empire took over the planet, his planet, Mandalore, and apparently Din Djarin's or Mando's flashbacks to when his parents hid him and in a cellar kind of thing, and the planet was being attacked by the Empire.
And we've seen small flashbacks to this all during the armor. It's usually during the armor sequence.
It is,
where the armor, that Beskar steel is being crafted into different pieces of armor. And that's usually whenever we see these flashbacks. And so now we see an extended flashback.
We see another one. And Moff refers to that as the Night of 1,000 Tears, which
Yeah.
which reminded me of our Trail of Tears.
Yeah.
The Cherokee Nation, a Trail of Tears. But he calls it the Night of 1,000 Tears, and he knows what he's trying to do basically is get in their heads. He's trying to really, he's not just threatening them physically, he's threatening them emotionally.
Yeah, it's mind games.
It's a mind game. It is.
Very, very logical, and it's creepily logical and methodical how he mentions all of them, where they're from, what they do.
Oh, yeah.
And so you see that Mando flashback, and here we see Moff Gideon, like you said, knows his name. And he gives them until nightfall to come out. To come out, and
because he knows Mando's name, Mando knows who he is.
Yeah,
he realizes who this guy is, and then he's a really, really bad dude. They have they kind of have an exchange there amongst themselves, Kara and Greef and Mando, and Greef refers to the Mandalorian race. And Kara immediately says Mandalorian isn't a race. And then Mando says it's a creed.
It's a creed. Yeah.
So that was all of we learn a lot of things here. We learn, they tie it together really well, and we get a lot of missing pieces in this episode from the what they say while they're pinned down.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, our our rescuing nurse droid comes screaming into town on the speeder with the baby. It's great. The baby is like cheering.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's just like it's just like a dog with its tongue out. And he's having a great time as IG-11 is like speeding through town with blasters in both hands. The shooting everything in sight, like all the stormtroopers. Yeah. It's really funny that he's enjoying this so much, just riding along on the speeder. And finally, as IG gets closer into where all of the stormtrooper forces and Moff Gideon are, he spins around the other way to turn the child away from the baby. From taking any fire. One more thing I wanted to mention was in the flashback that Mando has to his childhood, where his parents are seemingly killed in an explosion by the Empire. There's super battle droids walking through, attacking the people on this planet, and then finally we see the kind of like storm. The doors open up to the cellar, and there's a super battle droid that's about to attack the Mando Din Djarin as a child. And then the super battle droid gets taken out, and he's rescued by a Mandalorian.
Thanks, Lynn. You have a great day. Thanks for hopping in. Appreciate it. Tina is right. The Moff Gideon calling them by name, it's a form of intimidation, like when a mother calls her child by their full name. I hadn't thought of that.
This our dream. Garrett says, Jeff made a good point. Why couldn't they all fit in the cellar, the parents and Mando? I don't know. That's a good question. It's just like the wardrobe that what's her name's in on the Titanic. why couldn't Jack have fit on it?
On the big door.
Yeah.
Jack float on the big door.
Yeah.
My thought on that might be, maybe they had somebody else that they wanted to try to rescue or help, and they left him there. And then, they had friends I don't know, who knows? But, we always wonder
you're not always thinking the clearest whenever you're being chased by super battle droids trying to murder you.
I'm not sure how I would react to that. So, I can't really say that I would be thinking clearly. Yeah. Okay. So, moving along a little bit.
The only record
Mando,
of Mando's name was in the records on Mandalore.
Right.
One other thing note, that's why he knows who Moff Gideon is. He's an ISB officer. So
he knows
so back to IG-11. Coming in guns blazing into town on the speeder bike.
Yeah, and Mando, in that exchange, Mando is injured. Pretty severely. We don't know the severity of it until it's actually Moff Gideon.
Well, the hero's almost getting upper hand because IG provides enough of a distraction. As he comes flying into town. He creates a distraction. Mando and Grease are like, "This is our opening," and they come out and try to fight. And Mando gets a hold of the repeating blaster, and Kara's taking fire, shooting from the inside, and some of the troopers go after Kara. But Moff Gideon shoots the repeating blasters. It's like has like a generator looking thing, some sort of power source, and that's what explodes and really hurts Mando big time.
It does. Now Kara actually he goes down, and Kara comes out of the the safety of where they're hiding, and physically picks him up and pulls him back in. That was real, guys. That was Kara picking him up because she's a former UFC fighter, and so she was able to actually carry Pedro Pascal back in. She's awesome. Love Kara. So,
Gina Carano, the actor.
Gina Carano. I did not know about her before, but I know about her now, and I'm a huge fan. You can just add me to her list of fans. So at this point, IG-11 has they're about to go into the escape into the sewer, into the and I lost the word. What do they call it?
The sewer vent. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, the sewer vent, but it's the Mandalorian's covert.
Covert, yeah.
That's it. Yeah, I mean, it's been discovered now, but that's what they've called it, as a covert.
Yeah.
They are really pinned down here. You go ahead and describe that scene, William.
Jeff said, "I would love for her to pick me up." Yeah, I'm right there with you, Jeff.
Gosh, I love her. I think she's great. Yeah, I think she's great.
So Mando says to leave me behind because he's injured. He's wounded so severely. Mando gives his necklace to the child, and he says, "Tell them who it belonged to." Right. Talking about the Mandalorians.
Yeah, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves here, because they are just before that. The forces, Moff Gideon's forces, actually make it into one of.
The flame troopers attack after Mando says to leave him behind.
Yeah, he flames the whole. Is that after that?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Well, go ahead then, because I'm getting ahead of myself. You go ahead.
Yeah, so the child has this necklace. Actually, I've got a Funko Pop. Got a Funko Pop of the child holding the necklace. So he's holding the necklace. It's it's got the little Mandalorian Beskar insignia. And so here's trying to get a good picture of it. But so that's what the pop looks like. So Mando's hurt, and IG is able to, Kara had tried to shoot the vent out, shoot out the grate, and she couldn't. IG-11 was able to cut the grate to where they could get out. But Mando says, "Leave me behind." He gives his necklace, like he fully believes, like, this is it, like this is the end of the line.
Yeah. He does. He
and so
tells him to leave him there.
Yeah. And so the Moff Gideon sends in the flame trooper. He starts, spraying, fire all through the room. And, Mando says, basically says, "I want to die a warrior's death." And the child, in a very, climactic moment, uses does the magic hand thing, uses the Force, and saves them all from the fire. But not only saves them, but basically pushes it back into the flame trooper and blows him up.
He turns the fire back against Moff Gideon's forces and saves them. So that was a climactic moment. And as he always does, he's exhausted after he did that. And so the nurse droid kind of scoops him up. And but anyway, they get the grate open. They get the grate open. Mando's really, really injured. He thinks he's done for. Kara, of course, is protesting. We're not leaving you behind. And she says, in order to check his injury, she says, I've got to take this off, meaning his helmet. And he says, under no circumstances will you do that. He says, I'm done for. You're going to have to leave me here. I think Mando knows that
he draws his blaster and threatens to shoot IG. He says no living thing has seen my face since I put the helmet on.
Mm-hmm. To which IG-11 responds, "I'm not a living thing." Mm-hmm. And then, of course, at that point, and now Kara and Greef have already gone through the grate. So Kara makes IG-11
taking the child with them,
bring him, and they've taken the child to safety. And so it's just IG-11 and Mando left, and IG-11 says, "I'm not a living thing. This is not, in other words, this is not going to violate your religion, your creed, because I'm not a living thing." Mando allows him to take his helmet off. It's the first time in the series that we get to see Pedro Pascal's face, which is really cool. And there's a spray that IG-11 uses. This
it's like a Bacta spray of some sort.
In a matter of minutes. So, and it
welcome to Laura Jean Carlson and My Backyard Science. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for dropping in on us. So anyway, IG-11 helps him through the grate, and then it cuts to the scene where Greef and the child and Kara are making their way through the tunnels, and they hear IG-11 and Mando coming behind them, and Mando. Not being familiar with the tunnels, but I think he hears the armorer in the tunnels, and he follows the tunnel to try and I think it's more than Bactine, Garrett, but it's pretty potent stuff. But anyway, they walk up on this pile, and it just is heartbreaking. They walk up.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Of Beskar armor with the helmets and the
a lot of Mandalorian helmets.
A lot of it's lets you know what kind of devastation the Empire has wreaked in Mando's absence since he left. And
I mean, it shows the consequences of Mando's actions. The decision for him to take the child. They've made it out pretty well so far, but we see the Empire forces have grown on Navarro, and the Mandalorian forces, which were already thin as they were. There's all these helmets piled up, and seeing them in Neil, it looks like 100 helmets. It's so sad. Yeah,
it is. It really, really tugs at your heart, and you realize, of course, that the armorer then appears. I'll just say the armorer is one of my favorite characters in this.
Yeah, the armorer is really cool.
I think she does and she gets even cooler in this episode.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
She says that, Mando says you have to come with us. She says, I'm not leaving until I have, till I've recovered all of the Beskar. And so they proceed in, to where the kiln is. And that whole scene is really cool. Mando earns his signet. The
armor salvaging the remains. She wants to make sure all of this armor is collected up before she will even consider potentially leaving.
Yeah. So it tells you how dedicated she is to the people and to the heritage that this car represents. But then they proceed in, and she in his in his quest to rescue the child, he has earned his signet.
Yeah.
And while they're talking there, she prepares his signet and actually welds it to his shoulder, which is really cool. And, she basically tells him, you are basically this child's father until you can return him, until he becomes of age, or until you return him to his own people. And
he's a foundling. And Mando's signet, appropriately enough, which it's the mud horn. It's the shape of the mud horn that the child had previously saved Mando from.
Saved him from, yeah. So he ends up getting his signet from that same. He refused it the first time.
Yeah.
Because he said it wasn't a clean kill. An enemy helped me, and then events have happened now that he's still getting his signet from kind of that event. But really interesting exchange there between the armorer and
the dialogue in that scene's excellent. She refers to like as fans of Star Wars, anybody that's watched Star Wars is kind of familiar with Jedi and lightsabers. If you don't know anything else about Star Wars, Jedi and lightsabers. And so it's really funny to hear, a character in, something Star Wars related say, like, refer to an order of sorcerers called Jedi is how she refers to them. Right. And so it's very interesting. Yeah, there's so much good dialogue from the armorer in this scene between, referring to the Jedi as an order of sorcerers, saying the child is, Mando, Din Djarin, the child that you're now as its father. Yes. And then also saying you're a clan of two. There's just so much good dialogue in this scene.
Oh yeah, you're now a clan of two. And I caught that as well. Just great dialogue here. And Mando says basically, you want me to return this child to a race of enemy sorcerers.
Yeah,
he says this
is the way.
So he knows then that he stepped into something a lot bigger than what he signed up for initially.
Yeah. And,
but he accepts the challenge, and they bid her a farewell. And
he gets his jetpack, which he said, I gotta get one of those, which he had said in an earlier episode. I think chapter 3, maybe.
The armor asked him. He says, "Were you trained in the Rising Phoenix?"
Yeah.
As a child, which is I'm sure what the Mandalorians call the Mandos who wear the jetpack. Yeah. And he says, yes, I was. And so she says, well, this will help you along your journey. And so just man, what a great scene. I ran this back and watched this 3 or 4 times, this scene.
Yeah. All while they're talking, IG-11 hands the child to Kara, and she says, "I don't do the baby thing," but she holds the child. IG-11, that it's a long, like they're having a lot of discussion here. There's a lot that takes place in this scene, and IG-11 takes out the first wave of stormtroopers that come down and try to attack them. But the armor, sends them off and stays behind, tells them, follow the lava flats to get out of here. And 5 stormtroopers come into the room, and the armor's just kind of sitting and looks like, meditating basically. And so, then things escalate awful quickly.
The stormtrooper, she basically is sitting on her knees, facing the kiln away from the door, and these stormtroopers surround her. This is a ridiculously awesome scene, but she's sitting there with her tools like crossed on her chest. And you go ahead with that, William, and describe that scene.
Sorry. Mike Wheeler had directed me to look at something in the Ghost Host chat.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll take it then. So let's see. So the armor just kicks some serious behind. These, like I said, she's outnumbered 5-1, and they all gang up around her, and they have guns on her. And she's holding like the tools that she used basically for like smelting the armor, and she just goes to town on them, like has them shooting each other. I like breaks one of their arms, I'm pretty sure, and just like smacking like the tools. I'm guessing that her tools are probably made of Beskar because she smashes through the helmet of one of them.
Oh, yeah.
And she just takes care of business and wipes out all 5 of them.
All of them out. And then, after she's like, does like the Wonder Woman pose. It's awesome. It lets you know she's tough as boot leather, just like the rest of them. And I love her. She's played by, who is she played by, did we say?
I thought you said Emily something. Could be completely wrong there. Swallow.
Emily Swallow. Yeah. So kudos to Emily. You do a great job.
So they make their way through the tunnel. This is, we've got all our heroes minus Quill, because Quill unfortunately is dead at this point. All the rest of our heroes progress, and the armor stays behind. She kicks all the stormtroopers behinds, and Grief, Mando, Kara, IG, and the child all go to the lava flats. There's an old boat. And they end up, Kara ends up shooting, basically, I'm guessing, like the kind of accumulation of probably lava that is dried. So basically shooting the rock to free the boat from the side where they're standing. And IG-11 says, "Watch your feet. It's molten lava," which is like the most like Captain Obvious thing to say. So they all hop onto the boat. The ferry droid, it looks at first like an R2, but then it like stands up, and I think Russ described it in the Nerd Talk show that they did as it almost kind of looks like Frankenstein a little bit because it's got the long arms and legs coming off of an R2 unit body.
But it stands up. It's a lot bigger than R2.
It's real funny looking, and then basically it's got a paddle, and it's just kind of paddling the boat down the lava, I guess the lava flow, and. It's so weird looking, but we see like some funny looking creatures. I'm guessing they're equivalent to like lava otters. I don't know, but Mando uses like a heat signature setting. As they're moving along, they see the end of the tunnel and they think, okay, we're going to get out of here in good shape. And he uses some sort of heat signature setting on his helmet to see there's a ton of stormtroopers. Like the numbers are so high. On the outside of on the other side of this tunnel, that leading out to the flats, that there's no way they could put up a fight and win. Yeah. And so Kara says, I can't get caught. Like by no means, I can't be captured.
I'm going to shoot my way out of here.
Yeah, and so they're all getting geared up to try and put up a fight. Whenever IG comes up with a plan. And basically says, I'm going to self-destruct. I'm going to, perform my function. And
we need you.
Yeah, which is big for Mando's character because he hates droids. Absolutely hates droids with that, like basically every fiber of his being. So this is a big step. And
so IG-11 has essentially won him over.
Yeah. And
their nurse droid.
He says, there's nothing to be sad about. I've never been alive, which is what IG-11 says. And he detected Mando's voice to tell that Mando was indeed upset by, the potentially losing IG. Right. And so IG reaches out and, a very tender moment touches the child before, and Mando says, we're going to take care of the child. So he's able to override the nurse setting to his factory setting, allowing him not to be captured. Right. And the music's all kind of building up. IG-11 steps out of the boat, walks through the lava to the end of the tunnel, and basically, says, my what was it? I don't know the exact quote, but says my primary function dictates that I cannot be captured. And you see the thermal detonator pop out of his chest. And all the stormtroopers see him walk out of the tunnel, and they're confused. And then just boom, just massive explosion wipes all of them out.
It decimates them. Yeah.
And so finally, The boat comes out of the tunnel towards the lava flats, and immediately you hear a TIE fighter, that very distinctive noise that TIE fighters make. And Moff Gideon is, you think, okay, we're finally in the clear, like IG-11 saved us. And then here comes Moff Gideon and his TIE fighter.
Right. Yeah. And this is one of the coolest scenes.
He misses his first flyby, possibly on purpose, playing with them.
Because he thinks he's got him pinned down. And this scene, Mando is not only healed, but he dons the jetpack, and oh my gosh, he flies onto it's like
uses like a grappling hook, basically.
A grappling hook onto the TIE fighter, and a TIE fighter pulls him up. So he pulls himself onto the TIE fighter and takes out one of the engines. He does a lot of damage to the TIE fighter. It's an amazing scene. Totally love it. It's the first time Mando uses the jetpack, and
Moff Gideon's trying to shake him on the TIE fighter the whole time, like trying to throw him off. Yeah. But he wasn't able to.
No, he wasn't. And so, long story short, Mando brings down the TIE fighter.
Yeah, he throws an explosive on there, and it blows basically one of the wings off, and kind of spirals down.
Yeah, and it crashes. So. So Mando, goes back and lands by Cara and Greef, and they basically say their goodbyes. Cara decides to stay there.
Yeah.
And Greef, offers, of course, for Mando to stay, and Mando says, "No, I have more important matters to attend to," which, of course, is getting the child back to his own kind. And so Cara and Greef, he leaves Cara and Greef there.
Cara gets a gig as Greef's enforcer.
It does. She does.
Yeah.
So that's
they said there's no more stormtroopers. Greef Karga says, we've gotten rid of the scum and villainy, and Mando says something along the lines of, so now it can be a hive for bounty hunters. and Greef Karga says, some of my favorite people are bounty hunters. Yeah. It was really funny.
Right. Yeah.
But so Cara takes the job. It seemingly takes the job as being Greef's enforcer. Greef says that Mando, hey, you're welcome anytime back into the guild with open arms whenever you're ready. Mando and the child fly away on the jetpack.
On the jetpack, which was
go ahead. Yeah.
The baby's looking back at Greef and Cara as he flies away with Mando. And they make it back to the Razor Crest, and Mando buries Kuiil, which is tough. That's hard. And he pile of rocks and puts his helmet, with
proper burial for Kuiil. It's so sad to lose this character. I was hoping some way they could salvage him, but it was tough.
Yeah, it was really tough to lose him, because that's one of the biggest strengths, I think, of this whole series.
Yeah.
All of the characters are so strong, and it is so well cast that you get really attached to these characters after the first few minutes of watching.
Yeah.
Will was one of those that we really got attached to. I loved his character. I loved his whole demeanor. Again, I think it was maybe Russ or somebody in one of the chats that said he's kind of like the Yoda, figure.
Yeah.
In this particular series. So I hated to lose him. But so Mando takes off. That's basically the end of that scene. And then it actually cuts to the TIE fighter again, which is smoking.
Well, the child's wearing Mando's necklace still. They're in the Razor Crest. He's still wearing Mando's necklace. Mando says, I didn't expect to see this again. He thought he was going to die, and he lets the child hang on to the necklace.
Yeah.
And then you're right. The camera pans over. We see Moff Gideon's TIE fighter, and then what else do we see? We see the Jawas are picking at it.
They're already
looting it.
They're already stripping it to, and then you see the blade.
You hear a very distinctive noise.
Very distinctive, a noise that we all recognize, the noise of a saber. a
igniting
lightsaber, and then you see the blade come through from the inside, and it cuts a hole in the side of the TIE fighter. And obviously, then you know that Moff Gideon is alive and well, and he emerges from
he's unscathed. He's not even bleeding. Like it's almost like and I think it was genius of them to decide, like, hey, he's going to walk out of this thing and he's not going to be bruised. He's not going to be bleeding. He's not going to have a scratch. Like, to me, that kind of plays on his, like, this villain is a bad, he's powerful.
Yeah. Plus the fact that now you called this to my attention, William. I knew it was a different saber,
yes,
but I wasn't familiar with the dark saber.
Yes,
and you called that to my attention. That's huge that he's using a dark saber. That's a totally different ball game.
Yeah,
than the lightsabers that we're used to seeing in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, the dark saber. Just real quick, I'm not gonna belabor this or talk about it too long because we're almost out of time. But the dark saber was wielded by the first Mandalorian to join the Jedi Order. I think maybe even the Jedi Council.
Okay.
But his name was Tar Vizsla, and so anyway, since then it's been very symbolic that basically the person leading the Mandalorian people would wield that saber, and so it's kind of very much like for the to give an example, it's very much like the Black Panther. Whoever has the spirit of the Black Panther leads the people of Wakanda. It's very much like that. The dark saber, and there are times where there's in the Clone Wars series, there's a time where there's a peaceful leadership leading Mandalore. The Duchess Satine is leading Mandalore, being very pacifist and peaceful. And there's a sect that wants to overthrow her, and the leader of that sect wields the dark saber.
Yes.
So the last, I haven't finished Star Wars Rebels yet, but the last character that I saw carrying the dark saber so far in the series is Sabine Wren, who's part of the Rebels. So the Rebels group from that show. So I don't know how Moff Gideon has obtained the dark saber. I'm sure we'll get some backstory on that, but it's crazy that he has it
tonight at midnight.
Yeah.
What do we say? 2:00 our time? Is that what we said, Mike? So we're headed into we've watched a couple of trailers. We'll talk about that a little bit more. I think we're kind of out of time, but there are 2 trailers out. There's an official Disney trailer out, and then there's one that they released, I think it was last week, that gives us a little more detail. And basically, we see Mando fulfilling his charge from the armorer. He's trying to return the child. There's a really cool. If y'all haven't seen those trailers yet, go and look up both of them. And we will be talking next week about the first chapter. Maybe it'll be chapter 9 of season 2.
Yeah. So real quick, I just wanted to, based on that first trailer, because that's the one that I saw. I haven't seen that second trailer posted, but the official one from the Star Wars YouTube page. See the damaged Razor Crest flying through space. We hear the quote from the armorer that says, "Show me the one whose safety deems such destruction." She says, "You must reunite it with its own kind." So we hear kind of that throwback to this episode that we're discussing today. We see Mando walking at night with the child in the pram next to him. Is there a potential return to Tatooine? We see a sand person in a bantha, riding a bantha. The child and Mando are on some sort of ice planet. Is it Hoth? Is it some new planet? In the Victory and Death episode of the Clone Wars season 7, the very last episode of the animated series of Clone Wars, Ahsoka and Rex both escape, and Ahsoka leaves her lightsabers there, and Darth Vader finds them on this unnamed icy planet. That's true. Is it, if they're looking for Jedi trying to return the child to some Jedi, does he somehow find out that this is the last place that Ahsoka was seen?
And this is probably how they're gonna bring Ahsoka Tano's character into the Mandalorian, which I am so thrilled about. I cannot tell you how excited I am about Ahsoka being in this season 2. So, and that again, y'all go watch those. There are 2 of them out, 2 official trailers out that you can watch. The first one is kind of Disney's official one. The second one gives us just maybe a little bit more detail, some different dialogue, but it's definitely Mando's quest to return the child to his own kind and to find the Jedi, which is just thrilling to think about.
Yeah, we see a hooded character in black, which may be Sasha Banks' character. She's a WWE diva. Maybe her character. We see the Mando and the child on a boat on the ocean at some point. We see Mando flying alongside some X-wings. We see a return to Navarro. We see Grief Karga, and Grief Karga's got a little bit of gray in his beard, walking alongside Cara Dune. We see a TIE fighter. We see stormtroopers. We see scout troopers on speeder bikes. We see a Gamorrean boxing match between some Cyclops looking characters. And the end of that scene's awesome in the trailer because Mando, basically says wherever I go, he goes, and I think the Gamorrean says something like, "That's what we've heard," and then the child knows things are about to pick up and get violent. He closes his pram, and then you hear just the screen goes black, and you hear all sorts of fighting and probably some whistling birds going off.
Birds. So pretty cool.
And then, Mando takes out the last guy with a throwing knife, and he's wiped out the whole place. And then you hear, "This is the way." And so pumped for season 2.
Yeah, pretty neat. So
was there anything that I missed in the trailer? Just I tried to go quick hit there and do quick summary.
No, I think you did really well hitting the highlights. It closes out. In the second trailer, you actually see Mando asking Cara and Grief for help, and then you see more of the various scenes of Mando, running with the child, people chasing. You see TIE fighters, you see X-wings in that one. Pretty cool. So
nice.
So join us next week, guys. We'll be talking about the very first episode. Looking forward to it. I did want to let me pull up what Mike Wheeler sent us. Breaking news, guys. Breaking news. New Star Wars Rise of the Resistance boarding group procedure announced starting November 3rd. Okay, really excited about this.
That affects us.
It does affect us. Starting November 3rd, Disney has announced newly revamped boarding group procedures for Star Wars Rise of the Resistance at Disney Hollywood Studios in light of guest feedback. Guests now have the option of booking as early as 7 a.m. on the day of their Disney Park Pass reservation from the comfort of their hotel room or any location, quote, near the park. Guests still have the option of securing a boarding group during the 2 p.m. virtual queuing. However, they must be in the park and are not guaranteed a spot. So that's big because that does affect us. So that means that I can try at 7 a.m. on the morning on the first. I'll be in Hollywood Studios the first full day that I'm at Walt Disney World, and so that means that I can try as early as 7 a.m. So that means I'm going to have to get up and try to.
I was about to say, I'm wondering how close is close. Proximity-wise to the parks.
It says guests now have the option of booking as early as 7 a.m. on the day of their Disney Park Pass reservation from the comfort of their hotel room or any location, quote, near the park.
So how close is near the park?
How close is near the park? Is that in Orlando? Is that,
Yeah.
Where is that? So I will have to see, I guess. We'll have to see. But I would think, Disney, my Disney Experience app asks for your location. So I'm staying off property, but I may be able to do that because the app will know that I'm in Orlando and that I have a park pass that day. So I may be able to do that before I leave my resort. I'm sure going to try.
Yeah.
I'm sure gonna try because I really want to. So that's big, Mike. Thanks so much for
Thank you.
sending us the information on that. We are counting. I'm counting down, the days until my Disney trip, and really looking forward to that. I am counting down using a Lego Star Wars Advent calendar, and I've pulled a ship and a character. Almost every day. There's been one dwelling. But that's been a lot of fun. I'm doing a quick daily video as I pull each piece. So check out our channel for those if you're interested. In maybe
those have been a lot of fun.
If you're interested in getting this Advent calendar, maybe for Christmas, using it for Christmas, we're just using it as a countdown to my Disney trip. So if you guys are interested in that, you can get that. Jillian will be back for What's Brewing with the Bones on Saturday. She's going to talk about Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party and what she loves about Halloween in the parks. And also on What in the World with Russ's channel, we're doing a Halloween costume party at 2:00 Central, 3:00 Eastern on Halloween. And several channels have gotten together. We're going to be doing a costume party with some prizes, and that'll be a lot of fun. So tune in to What in the World with Russ's channel for that. And my costume, I am dressing as Madame Leota. So
nice.
That's gonna be a lot. Appropriately enough, I drew that.
Yeah.
I drew that completely.
What are the odds?
What are the odds? So I drew Madame Leota. So we're looking forward to that. And as far as channel announcements, again, join us next week for Mando Mania. Everybody, if you're crazy like us, you'll be up at 2 a.m. or whatever. In the morning watching the new release. I'm excited about it. Busy. We're headed into a really busy season at the end of the year, but after 2020 has been such a drag, maybe we can go out with a bang and have a nice Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah.
So we're really looking forward. Yeah. Thanks,
Tina.
That's so sweet. Yes, I have. Yes, Mike, I do. Exactly. I do have a park pass. So I'm thinking I'll be able to do it as long as I'm in Orlando. And we look forward to seeing you, buddy. We need to figure out how to do a meetup. So maybe I don't want to get with Russ, or we'll figure it out. But we definitely want to see you while they're there. Is there anything else you wanted to say?
Just shout out to Dean at the Live Place, who manages that site, theliveplace.com. It's a great, basically TV guide for family-friendly content. And also Dean has a great YouTube channel called Dreamers Empire. So check that out. Thanks again to Dean for managing that site. If you're a YouTube creator, check out TubeBuddy. It's a tool that analyzes your videos for performance. Give suggestions on better give suggestions for better titles, how to boost your views, how to make better videos, and best of all, it's free. There's a paid version, so we started off with the free version and moved to the paid version. So check that out. We've got an affiliate link in the description below.
In the description, and give it a try. You'll really be glad you did. Seriously.
Special thanks to our Ghost Host moderators for being here for all of our live streams this week and every week. We love you very much, and so thankful for your friendship. And thank you for being here. Also, shout out to everybody everybody's watching on the replay. Everybody that was in the chat today. Shout out to Aunt Joy. Shout out to Little Britches, which is a secondary channel created by Dean the Turkey Legster. Shout out to Mike Wheeler, the Lynn Project, Pam's Fam, Diz Our Dream, Griswold Family Vacay, What in the World with Russ, T. McNeil, DCS. Rayleigh Creative Travel, Monarch Moments, My Backyard Science, and Lori Jean Carlson. If I didn't see your name, because the chat was moving today, if I didn't see your name, I'm sorry. Hopefully I'll catch you next time. But thank you so much for being here. Everybody that watched live and everybody that'll watch on the replay. We appreciate your support.
If you're on Team Replay, leave a comment below and hashtag Team Replay. Let us know you're watching on the replay. So we appreciate it. We really appreciate it, guys, for all of you popping in. It was good to see Lynn at the Lynn Project in the chat, and all of you. We love you. We love you guys, and are glad you joined us today.
Yeah,
So,
thank you so much. Like, subscribe, and ring the bell if you're new. Check us out on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Yeah, and till the spires, everybody.
Yeah, till the spires. We have spoken. This is the way.
Absolutely.
Anything else, Mom?
I can't think of anything.
All righty. Thanks again, everyone. And please hurry back. Bye, everyone. Have a great day.
Guys. Have a great day.